What's up, everybody? It is Barrett. Good to see you guys today. If you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but I got a sunburn. Oh, I hate sunburn. It hurts. It's on my arms. It's on the back of my knees. It's like, I don't know if you can see, but there's like, I was wearing a hat like at an angle. Anyways, went hiking yesterday with one of my mentors and his son, who's a buddy of mine as well. And we just had an awesome time. And it was super overcast and it was just cloudy. And I know that you can still get a sunburn on an overcast day, but I just still didn't put sunscreen on. I brought it with me. I forgot to put it on. I didn't think about it, and I'm paying the price now. Halfway through the hike, about 2 hours into the hike, I put it on, and thankfully it's not as bad as maybe it would have been. But I was thinking about this, and really the Lord just kind of gave me a picture that this sunburn and this whole like overcast day and not putting it on, even though I know I should have, this is really a picture of our lives and sin. And there's sometimes that we know that we shouldn't do something, but we do it anyways. And if you're in that situation or you've done this before and you remember, you're like nodding your head right now. Like, yep. Man, why do I have to learn the hard way? Jesus, help me. But there's just something about the fact that the Lord gave us, He loved us so much that He gave us choice. That He didn't create us as robots to just, yes, we will do what you say. He wants us to live His way because He knows what's best for us. He knows that closeness with Him is what we need and crave. It's what we're made for. And when we live without Him, we have all sorts of issues. But there's consequences for those issues no matter whether we know we should do it or not. And that's the deal with this sunburn is like, hey, I know that you're supposed to wear sunscreen when you go outside. And if you didn't know this, here's a little pro tip for you. On overcast days when it's super cloudy, you still need to put on sunscreen because the UV comes through the clouds, even though the sun rays aren't. The UV does, and you still get really badly burned. In fact, a lot of people get burned worse on cloudy days because they're not wearing sunscreen because of the perception that you didn't need it. And so sometimes we sin and we do things that really separate us from the Lord, not knowing, and there's consequences for that. We feel the consequences of that, not like God's consequences, but there's just natural ramifications of our decisions. God still loves us, but we suffer consequences of our decisions. And sometimes it's because we didn't know and we learn that way. And you know, you've heard stories of people that say like, you know, I don't regret my mistakes because they made me who I am today. That's kind of like that idea. But then there's also times where we know, like I knew that I know that you get sunburned on cloudy days. I brought it with me on purpose. I knew it was going to be overcast. I was planning on putting it on, and I just didn't do it. I forgot until later, and I'm suffering the consequences even though I knew better. And so sometimes it's that way in our lives as well. Sometimes we know what is sin. We know that we shouldn't do something. We feel it in our hearts. We sort of hear the Spirit of God saying, hey, this is wrong. But maybe we're a little bit confused whether it's wrong or not. And so we ask questions like, is this wrong? And sometimes like the best answer is if you have to ask whether it's wrong or not, it's, you know, probably not right to do it. But there's nothing wrong with asking, you know, bring your questions to the Lord. But all that to say, like sometimes we know that we shouldn't do something and we just exercise our own will and we do it anyways. And God just, I think just His heart breaks. And sometimes it's something small like the sunburn, and sometimes it's something really big. And you know, you can have your own examples. I've got examples. You've got examples. But the Lord loves you. He loves me. He loves us anyways. His love never changes over us. But but we suffer consequences. There's ramifications. There's things that happen in our lives because of our decisions, and we can't change that. We can choose whatever we want, and God gave us that. But he says to us, you can choose whatever you want, but there is a natural law, a supernatural law. I've written it into everything that you're going to have consequences. You do this and come close to me, you're going to be more confident, and you're going to be blessed, and you're going to have joy and peace and all these things. I'm going to take your burdens, and I'm going to set things right in your life. And this is going to be a journey, but it's going to be incredible, and all of that. And you do these things, and you kind of walk away from me, and you're taking yourself out of my love and out of my protection and out of all of that, even though I still love you and I still have all this available for you, and I want you to come back, just like the prodigal son story, that father that's just longing for you to come back so that he can heal you and rescue you and have you close, and his love is over you. But sometimes we just sin, do what we want, and we suffer the consequences, i.e. this sunburn. And who knows? I mean, it could just be a sunburn that goes away, or it could be that you get skin cancer someday from it, and whatever. So you know what I mean? So sometimes it's like small consequences. Sometimes it's hard, really big consequences. And that's just physically. But there's also emotional stuff and relationship stuff and drugs and sex and alcohol and abuse and just so many issues in the world, right? But it all comes down to sin, this idea of sin, which I think is kind of become a cuss word. It's like we don't want to talk about sin, but really just the idea, it comes down to a life and a lifestyle and choices that either bring us closer to God or take us away from him. And this thing in the world where it's like, oh, just do whatever you want, and we love you anyways. Yes, we love you anyways, but there are consequences. And so God doesn't want you to suffer. God doesn't want you to suffer so much that he took the extreme measures to come and rescue you and show you the way. And so he literally said that, hey, you're made for closeness with the Father, and I've come to make that possible. While you're yet sinners, Christ died for you and me. And so he took extreme measures to come and get you, and he wants to rescue you and wants you to have that fellowship with the Father, which is where you belong. And all your questions will be answered with fellowship with the Father. As you start to have that fellowship, and he takes your burdens and starts to give you his clarity and truth and his life, and it's spiritual and it's emotional and it's just incredible. If you've had that happen to you, if you haven't had that happen to you and you don't believe in Jesus and all of that, then it's kind of a mystery, and it's like, I don't agree with what you're saying. But for the people who have been to the bottom of their rope and have had that experience where it literally somehow God is like lifting their burdens, and they call this radical transformation, and it's just incredible. And so, but there's also there's more than just people that believe in Jesus and people that don't, but there's also everyone in between that it's like, even Christians, like sometimes it's not just a salvation issue, sometimes it's just a sin issue. It's like, maybe you've given your life to the Lord and you're walking with him, but maybe you just know that you shouldn't do this, but you still do it, or you walk away from him, or you just want to taste the world, and whatever it might be. There's just consequences of our ramifications, and it's just, I want to help you not have to suffer through all that. I want to help you not have to get to the end of the rope before you come back to the Lord. I mean, and I know that's, and you have that choice. Jesus gives you that choice. I give you that choice. But this particular video is just to give you that word picture of like, hey man, you may know what's better, and still decide to do differently. But there really are ramifications. There really are consequences. But I'll leave you with this story. It's the story that Jesus told of the prodigal son. And oh, it's just like, sometimes it just makes me weep when I read this story or I hear someone talk about it, because it's me, it's you, it's all of us. We're all this story. And that's why Jesus told it, because he wants us all to know the Father's heart. Because most of us feel like, I'm too dirty, I'm too far gone. God doesn't love me anymore. Why would he love me anymore? He can't save me. Whether that's before you're ever giving your life to the Lord or even after, and it's like, I used to be so passionate and close to the Lord, and now I've walked so far away. How could I ever renew that relationship? And he's just got to be so mad at me and whatever. And so Jesus wanted to give us clarity, and so he just came and said, hey, this is the Father's heart. It's the prodigal son story. He has two sons. One stays, one wants the inheritance and just said, peace out. I don't really care about you guys. I'm going to do my own thing. So he goes and squanders his whole inheritance and wealth and parties and just has the blast, enjoying the worldly pleasures, right? And then just come and wastes it all, experiences the emptiness that all of that brings, and over time, and then eventually has nothing, is feeding pigs, has nothing so much that he's eating slop with the pigs, and thinks to himself, oh my gosh, like, how did my life get here? There's no way that my dad would love me anymore, but I still want that. And then he thinks to himself, like, well, like, even the servants and the slaves in my father's household are treated better and have more than I have right here. Maybe I could at least just go back and be one of the servants, because for sure that's what, the best that I could get when I come back to him. That's how he feels towards me. And so Jesus was saying, that's our lens, right? And that is our lens. Like, that's how we think God is going to treat us. But he was like, at least it's better than being here. So I'm coming back, excuse me, to my dad. I'm going to go back. So he goes back, and the father sees him far off. He's been waiting at the ledge. He's been looking. He's been searching. He's been longing. He runs out to him. He gives him the robe. He gives him the ring. He gives them the fatted calf. He gives them the party. I mean, he is just so excited that he's home. And the son is like, I don't deserve any of this. Like, why are you treating me so well? And so Jesus is saying, like, this is the Father's heart for you. He wants you back. He wants to heal you. He wants to love on you. He wants to take your sunburns and your consequences and all the things that you're suffering with away. And he wants to treat you like the son or daughter that you really are. And he wants to heal the rest, all the emotional baggage that he probably carries with him and all the questions and all of that. Well, the healing will come in time. He's just so excited that you're back. And so Jesus was showing us that is the Father's heart for us. And so whatever you've done, whatever has been done to you, whatever you're considering doing, God's love never changes. He is that Father that longs for you to be back. Come back. Come to the Father. Go to a local church that can help you. Message me. I can try and help you. Pray right where you are. The Father will help you. And if you're just wanting direction, then some of those things can help you as well. But that's God's heart. Okay, so that's like kind of the issue when we think about sin and all that. It's like, is this a sin or is this not a sin? And why do Christians think this is a sin or not a sin? And the issue is closeness with the Father. And so that's that. Obviously, there's 100 million things we could talk about, but I just wanted to share with you guys. I knew better. I should have done better. I'm not walking in guilt. I'm not walking in shame. I'm not carrying all of that, but I am suffering the consequences, and this will go away. But a lot of our spiritual and emotional and all of those consequences, sometimes they don't go away, short of like the Lord taking them, and we just have to suffer without that until we come to him. And so that's the encouragement. Don't do what you know you shouldn't do. Stay close to the Father. Come close to him if you aren't. And I love you. Love you. Love having you. If you like this video, hit like. If you haven't subscribed, do it. Love to have you around. Hit the bell so you don't miss any of the videos. You'll get notified when I post them. Comment below with maybe a question. It's like, hey, should I do this or should I not? Or like a story that's like this when you knew better but you did it anyways and you suffered consequences. But you know, the Lord's changing those around for you or whatever. So kind of that's the idea of the comment section on this video. Love you guys so much. No matter where you're at, no matter what you believe, no matter why you're watching these videos, I hope they're beneficial to you and take you just a little bit closer to the Lord. Like I said, love you guys so much. Peace out.